Can't wait for spring break? Here are a few films to tide you over and help you get in the spirit. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 spring break movies. For this list, we'll be looking at some of the most entertaining and memorable films set during spring break, as well as movies that have become closely associated with it. Classic party films you can take inspiration from, cautionary tales, and vacations from hell, we're covering all our bases to bring you the very best spring break films ever made. Number 10, The Cabin in the Woods.
This is awesome.
It is kind of cool. Hey, you gonna kill us a raccoon to eat?
A horror film likely isn't the first thing that comes to mind when you think spring break, but this horror comedy is more fun than an open bar and a surprise performance by The Weeknd. Okay, we're not sure any film is that great, but you get the point. Starring Kristen Connolly and Chris Hemsworth, the movie follows a group of friends who escape to a secluded cottage over, yes, spring break.
We have a winner! It's the Buckners, ladies and gentlemen!
Here they soon find themselves tormented by the machinations of underground technicians and supernatural threats. A self-aware film that's equal parts a love letter to and parody of the slasher genre, it's a riot. And unless you similarly plan on spending your spring break in a dilapidated cabin, it's unlikely to kill the vibe.
I'm on a reality TV show. My parents are gonna think I'm such a burnout.
Number 9, Where the Boys Are.
Fort Lauderdale and Miami, straight ahead.
Smell that ocean. Marriage, you look better already.
Considering we haven't slept in 2 nights.
The grandfather of spring break movies, Where the Boys Are is an absolute classic. It follows 4 young female students, Merritt, Melanie, Angie, and Tuggle, as they explore their sexuality over spring vacation. By modern teen comedy standards, their misadventures and sexual exploits might seem tame, but in 1960 this film was seriously pushing the boundaries. Set in Fort Lauderdale, the movie actually inspired many university students to visit the Florida city in the years after the film's release, establishing it as one of the most popular spring break destinations in the United States to this day. Funny, heartwarming, but also tackling some serious themes, Where the Boys Are will really make you appreciate the long history of spring break in America.
My first day in Florida, and I don't even go for a swim.
Now, what's so Big Ten about dunking yourself in an ocean? Personally, I never go in the water above here.
Number 8, Spring Breakdown. Woefully underrated and seen by far too few people, Spring Breakdown is something of a cult classic.
Betty! You're going to spring break, girl!
Released direct-to-video in 2009, the film stars Amy Poehler, Parker Posey, and Rachel Dratch as Gail, Becky, and Judy, 3 women who, having been geeks in college, get something of a do-over when they head to South Padre Island over spring break. There, armed with the life experience of 30-somethings, you'd think they'd be above college-age shenanigans, but they soon find themselves being pulled into both the fun and drama of the festivities. It's by no means a comedic masterpiece, but the trio of talented lead actors make Spring Breakdown an undeniably fun watch.
Let's go! We never went to spring break in college!
Number 7, Project X. Spring break often brings with it a lot of pressure to find the ultimate party.
50 people, absolute max.
Fine. 50 people, absolute max.
You know, just big enough to be cool.
In Project X, however, rather than just seeking out the biggest party of the year, our trio of high school protagonists, Costa, JB, and Thomas, decide to take matters into their own hands. With Thomas's parents out of town, they organize the party to end all parties, and the entire thing is captured in a found footage style. Much to the chagrin of parents everywhere, the film has gone on to inspire countless real-world imitators.
The movie characters get away with just a hangover, but for real-life teens copying these parties this spring break, the consequences are far more serious.
We don't recommend throwing a Project X party of your own, but watching the movie is a great way to get pumped, especially since promoters often host Project X-themed spring break events. Number 6, XOXO.
Come on, let's go.
No, it feels like it's still missing something.
No.
Hey, did you remember to pack my fog machine?
No, we don't need that. There's bigger issues. There was a dead raccoon in the storage compartment.
This 2016 Netflix original film is the perfect modern spring break film. It follows the intertwining lives of 6 young adults on one fateful night at the biggest EDM festival in the country. Filmed at various music festivals and raves in and around Los Angeles, XOXO really does feel like the biggest music festival in the world. Though it's sure to give you plenty of party FOMO and have you feeling desperate for your own spring break, it's first and foremost a story about love, youth, and chasing your dreams. Spring break gets a bad rep, but XOXO perfectly captures the hopeful spirit of adventure. reminding us that there's more to this tradition than partying yourself senseless. Number 5, Van Wilder.
Love is a beautiful thing. When you find it, the whole world tastes like Daffodil Daydream.
Before he was Deadpool, the king of Twitter, or a bona fide A-lister, Ryan Reynolds was best known as Van Wilder. And even against steep competition, there's really no movie character more synonymous with taking college partying to the extreme than this iconic slacker.
I've learned that you can't treat every situation as a life and death matter, because you'll die a lot of times. Write that down.
I don't have a pencil.
Well, remember that then.
Now in his 7th year as a freshman, the titular Van Wilder gets cut off by his wealthy father, threatening his lifestyle as an eternal student and campus legend. With his back against the wall, Van is forced to get creative, or rather, more creative than usual, and that translates to wild parties, pranks, and the sort of shenanigans that one hopes to find at any spring break party.
Northwestern I am my shit.
Certainly will be.
Number 4, Piranha 3D.
We've just been invaded by 20,000 kids. It makes us a little busy at the moment.
No, that's what I told him.
Piranha 3D is an over-the-top film in every sense of the word. Set at the fictional Lake Victoria resort during spring break, the film sees debaucherous good times interrupted by the sudden arrival of prehistoric, highly aggressive piranhas that have escaped from a crack in the lake bed. Gore, skimpy bikinis, nudity, immature jokes, bad decisions, and CGI, everything about this film is excessive and gratuitous, but the end result is a whole lot of fun. If the pre-Piranha party looks like your idea of a good time, you should consider spending spring break at Arizona's Lake Havasu, where the film was shot. It bills itself as the West's biggest spring break party. Don't worry, it's piranha-free.
So, where are the parents?
Number 3, American Pie 2.
Keep it real, homies.
You too, sir. Have a good summer.
Spring break is a time for making new friends and reuniting with old ones. Though they've mostly gone away to different colleges, this group of friends soon fall back into the old ways of partying hard, sexual exploits, and wacky hijinks. American Pie 2 is technically set during summer vacation and not spring break, but the wild and crazy misadventures that the gang share at this beach house still feel very much on brand. Following the release of the film in 2001, we can only assume that many a group of friends were inspired to spend spring break at a beach house rental of their very own. Here's hoping that none of them confuse super glue for personal lubricant.
I would think any adhesive product would have a warning right on the tube.
I thought it was a lubricant. Okay, I was trying to use lubricant.
Number 2, 22 Jump Street. This sequel to 21 Jump Street catches up with Schmidt and Jenko 2 years after the events of the first film. The two are now working the streets performing drug busts.
When he talking? My name is Jeff.
After dropping the ball on a big case, however, they're once again made to go undercover. They're too old to pass as high schoolers anymore, but they fit right in at college, where a new deadly drug, Wi-Fi, is making the rounds. Spring break coincides with the climax of the film, and boy is it ever epic in every sense of the word. But even before the spring break party begins, this film holds up a hilariously accurate, if exaggerated, mirror to college life and its many hard partying cliches and tropes.
Spring break yourself, fool!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Spring Breakers. Nobody's ever made a spring break movie quite like this one before.
Live life to the fullest. Spring break. Spring break forever.
Then again, pretty much every film made by director Harmony Korine is truly one of a kind. With an amazing cast that includes James Franco, Selena Gomez, Vanessa Hudgens, Ashley Benson, and Rachel Corrine, the movie follows a group of college-age women who go on a last-minute spring break trip after two of them rob a restaurant. They party hard in St. Petersburg, Florida, eventually befriending a local rapper and criminal named Alien. It's a dark film that revels in the seedier side of spring break, but it makes for a fascinating ride and a reminder that every party should have its limits.
You just got hypnotized and transported to another realm, y'all, and this lasts forever!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.